We discovered in the previous video that phonetics are the study of the acoustic characteristics of speech sounds. But we use our bodies to create these sounds. Specifically, we use the respiratory system to produce energy, the laryngeal system to generate voice, and the supralaryngeal system to filter the sounds. One important note before I move into these systems exist for the primary purpose of sustaining life. We've adapted them for speech, but this is not their primary function. The respiratory system primarily exists to keep us oxygenated. The laryngeal system has a primary function of valving to protect the lungs from foreign matter. The supralaryngeal system exists to masticate and swallow food. All mammals have these three structures, but as humans, we have adapted these structures in extremely elegant ways to produce speech. The respiratory system, so far as we are concerned, is the exchange of gases in and out of the lungs. In English, we only use the egressive or breathing out direction of respiration to produce speech, but some languages also use ingressive airflow as well. The lungs are not involved in actually creating sound, but they do drive the energy source. We need to move air to produce speech. Even whispering requires some flow of energy to make phonemes audible. There are two groups of muscles involved in respiration. One group runs through the rib cage, called the intercostal muscles. The ones on the inside contract to create exhalation, and the ones on the outside contract to create inhalation. But while these muscles are efficient for at-rest breathing, they aren't good for moving large volumes of air. In those cases, the diaphragm, a very large muscle that sits at the bottom of the thorax, can pull itself downward, which in turn creates negative pressure in the lungs, which results in a large draw of air. Pushing it back with the abdominal muscles can move energy very quickly out of the lungs, which is why singers and public speakers are encouraged to produce from the diaphragm. Well, now that we have an energy source, we can run that energy through a couple of rubber band-like ligaments to create voice. The larynx refers to a container that sits on top of the trachea. Inside this cup is a switch. When one looks down the throat with a camera, one will see a white V shape. The space in between the white ligaments is called the glottis, and the white ligaments themselves are called the vocal folds, often referred to as vocal cords. These cords, when brought very closely together, can vibrate at a very rapid speed, and when they are stretched tightly, they will vibrate quickly, resulting in a high pitch, ah. And when they are loose and supple, they vibrate slowly at a low pitch, ah. That's not the only sound we make for speech here. We also slightly close the glottis, but not all the way, to result in a friction there that sounds like this. The H sound. The last structure we want to explore is the supralaryngeal. Supra means above the larynx. This is a lovely italic way of saying, and then all the other stuff. There are three cavities that serve as resonation chambers for speech. Sound resonates differently in these chambers. One is the pharynx, or the area just above the glottis and the back of the throat. The nasal cavity and the oral cavity meet at the pharynx as well. Sounds are different depending upon where they resonate. Let me make a noise in my nose. That sound is just my voice resonating in the nasal cavity, as opposed to this sound, ah, which resonates in the oral cavity. Also, there are different structures that will help us create the sounds. These are the lips, or the labia, the teeth, or the denta, the alveolar ridge, which is the bumpy ridge behind your teeth that gets sore when you burn your mouth on pizza, the hard palate, the soft palate, or velum, the glottis, which we already met, and of course, the lingua or the tongue. We'll meet these structures again as we classify sounds, but I want to take just a second to reference the tongue. It's the most important articulator. Not only do we use the tongue to make the t, d, th, th, k, g, s, z, sh, zh, ch, j sounds, but we also need it to make all of the vowels. Perhaps it's no strange thing that the root word of linguistics is tongue. In the next video, we'll start by unpacking the parts of the tongue and then seeing how it's used to create vowels.